am Kevin Wishmeyer.
I'm Claudel Wishmeyer.
I'm Bearcat Kevin Wishmeyer.
And I'm Abby Wishmeyer.
The point when the earthquake happened in Haiti, and you're watching all these images of all these families that had been broken and all these kids that needed homes, and we're looking at each other, and I think it just came to the point where, okay, God, we get it. Like, this is what you want us to do. And like she said, you look at each other and you kind of go like, if you don't do it now, we're looking and we're going to say we're going to be disobedient, and that's not who we wanted to be as parents and children of God, and doing what he called us to do, which was to adopt. And it was our time to do it, and it was exciting. It was an emotional time, I think, more than anything else, where you make that decision.
And where we thought, because of the earthquake in Haiti, that's where God wanted us to be. God had a completely different plan. And before we ever went to Haiti, we went to Ethiopia, and that's where
Our biggest thing was to be parents of children who needed a home. And it got to the point where Ethiopia at the time was in such dire need of people to adopt. And there Bear was on a waiting child list, and it screamed us. And as we went through the screening process, it just became more and more evident that is what God intended for us, was to be the parents of Bear, to raise him for God. And it's been a blessing.
I guess we'd be driving down the road, and if we saw somebody that, looked like they needed help, I really hem-hawed around about it. I might eventually turn around and go back and help, but we're trying to show at least the new ones God's love, and if we see anybody in trouble, we try to stop, immediately. And if it's pushing them out of a snowbank, if it's offering a bed in a house that's got one bathroom and 7 people already in it, we just
having missionaries live with us, having 9 people in your house.
We just try to show that love that everybody else has shown us.
Sometimes I think, what will people say of me when I'm only just a memory, when I'm home where my soul belongs? Was I loved when no one else would show up? Was I Jesus to the least of us? Was my worship more than just a song? I wanna live like that and give it all I have, so that everything I say and do points to you. If love is who I am, then this is where I stand, recklessly abandoned, never holding back. I wanna live like that. I wanna live like that.
I'm Bethany. Caleb. I'm Isaac.
I'm Micah.
I'm Missy.
And I'm Nate. Missy and I have always talked about adopting. The whole time we've been married, we've talked about adopting, but I think it's easy to talk about adopting when it's far off and not really all that real. But a few years ago, before we had Bethany, we started to talk about it quite a bit more, and we were actually in the process of, we were about to start it, and we found out Missy was pregnant with Bethany, and so that put a stop to that, and so we kind of put it on the back burner, and we kind of just thought about it, and again, it was kind of a distant thing, and we'd talk about it from time to time, but it was never really real, and the kids would say things like, "Are we going to adopt? Are we going to adopt?" And I would always say, well, you know, maybe someday, you know, if it's really expensive, and if God wants us to, then He'll provide the money. But, you know, honestly, that was kind of my out, like, because I knew $40,000 wouldn't show up on my doorstep. So it's kind of a cop out, and, you know, I'm a little ashamed to say that, but as we got closer and closer to, you know, just a few months ago, it seemed like any time adoption came up, I would just get choked up, and you know, it was like God, like, just kind of poking at me. And you know, we were sitting in a small group one time, and there was a video on adoption, and I'm glad the lights weren't dimmed down, because, you know, there I am, like, tearing up and sniffling and everything. But, you know, I kept, anytime it came up, I'd think, man, it's just too expensive. There's no way, we can't, it's just not going to really happen. But we always kind of left the door open. And then, you know, a few other things happened. A few different friends of ours adopted, and you know, it just kept it there. It kept us there. And every time we think about it, I just felt like this nudging, like that's what we were really supposed to do. And I was on Father's Day, and Pastor Rick was giving a sermon on how God is a father to the fatherless, and he put a list up on the screen, and it was a list of families in our church who had adopted. And there's a list of 14 families, and I was just so ashamed that our names weren't on that list. And not that I want my name on a list, but, you know, God had called us for so long, and we had never answered, and we'd never taken that step. And you know, I kind of stuffed it down and didn't really say much. And then a few days later, Missy kind of said something about it, and I said, well, let's do it. And she said, really? You know, like, got you know, all bright-eyed. And I said, yeah, let's do it. And so even then, I was not really sure about it.
Let's call Bethany.
Yeah, let's call Bethany Christian Services and make an appointment. We'll just see how it goes. I said, don't get your hopes up. But let's just see how it goes. She did, of course. She can't help it. And you know, even for well, we went and saw him, and it was just very apparent that that's really what we needed to do. And it felt like we really just could not say no any longer, you know. And it was hard. It was really hard for me to say yes, but I knew I wasn't going to say no. So I know that's where we're at, I guess.
I wanna live